Now we'll discuss about the properties of vector addition. The very first property is known as the commutative law. Here we are going to take two vectors. One is known as A, the other one is known as B. So if A and B are the two vectors, and if we take the sum of the vectors, that is A plus B, you will get another vector, because the sum of the two vectors will give rise to another vector. So A vector plus B vector is again a vector. Right. Next, we will take the sum of B vector plus A vector. Again, this is also a sum. So B vector plus A vector is also a sum. If you observe A plus B vector sum and B plus A vector sum, the value will be same. So we can say that a commutative law is satisfied. Now coming to the next property, that is known as associative law. For the associative law, we will consider three vectors. One is known as A, the other one is known as B, while the third one is known as C. Now, if you take the sum of the vectors, first let me take B plus C. After getting the value of the sum of the two vectors B and C, we will get a vector. That vector, if you add another vector A, then we will get one more vector, that is known as A plus B plus C. Right. Now, the same A plus B plus C can be added in one more way, that is, first we will add the two vectors. One is known as A, the other one is known as B. Here A plus B is again a vector. After getting the sum of the A vector plus B vector, again we will add it to the other vector, that is known as C. So we will get it as A vector plus B vector plus C. The values of the A vector plus B vector plus C vector and A vector plus B vector plus C vector, the two vectors will be same. So stating that the associative law is satisfied. Therefore, A vector plus B vector plus C vector is equals to A vector plus B vector plus C vector. So, associative law can be verified. Next, we will go for the third one, that is known as additive identity. Now, we will take any vector, say A vector. For the A vector, we are going to add one vector called a zero vector. Already we discussed a zero vector. The meaning of the zero vector is a vector whose magnitude is 0 is known as zero vector. So for any vector A vector plus zero vector, if we add, the sum of these two vectors will give again the same vector, that is known as A vector. The same thing can also be done in one more way, that is the addition of zero vector plus a vector, again it gives rise to the same vector known as A vector. So we can say that zero vector is called the additive identity.